Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
All right, everyone. Unfortunately for all of you, it's time once more for Frankenstein Control.
We return! After what seems like a millennia, we have returned.
Well, we've been pretty remiss in our last several episodes when it comes to keeping our loyal listeners apprised of current events. Although that's been somewhat intentional on our part to preserve our own will to live in addition to everyone else's. There's just been so much happening.
I got
all
my
the
news
time.
right here.
Well, yeah. If you listen to the news, you'll need a noose.
A news.
That's definitely for sure.
Is that why they call it that?
Yeah.
It's been the news the whole time.
No, but yeah, there's been so much happening. None of it's good. And if I had a dime for every time I've said a version of that very statement these past few years, I could probably afford to personally hire Gabe Newell and George R.R. Martin to finish the next installments in their respective series and then immediately neglect to play or read either one because it's been years and I'm no longer invested in the stories anymore.
Yep.
Well, you don't wanna play George R.R. Martin's Half-Life 3?
That might be kind of interesting. Wow, there's a lot more rape than I remember.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. That's what the head crabs do.
Please no.
Yes.
The headlines, though, are now
crab
finally...
lines.
Yes, the head crab lines are finally quantum. They have melded together completely as one, and the Omni News rises up ceaselessly each day to strike at the last remaining shreds of your ability to feel shock, outrage, or fear before
Omni News.
before fading into obscurity just as quickly, much like an enemy's feral warhorse snapping its teeth at you like a dog in the midst of a wild melee before disappearing back in the maelstrom of violence and death you're all trapped in.
Yeah.
And that checks off this episode's requisite Blood Meridian reference.
Oh, I was wondering. It's like, this is very proseful.
BRF's talking about horses and war. That's Blood Meridian.
Well,
There it is.
Well, just getting it out of the way early because everyone's tired of it by now, including me. But I can't get it out of my head. Mm-hmm. Pushing forward, though, one of the biggest stories over the last month and a half has mostly subsided by now, but we just haven't gotten a chance to talk about it on here yet. That issue, of course, was the unwelcome presence of unidentified federal agents at the protests in Portland.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I remember that.
And though they've now been withdrawn, the specter of their deployment still looms large for activists throughout the nation. A major cause for concern has been the mystery surrounding these would-be brown shirts, where they were coming from, who was supplying their orders, and what accountability, if any, could they be held to for violating the rights of citizens. Well, we're happy to announce tonight that a Frankenstein Control special investigative report, which I've been conducting this whole time.
That's why we've been gone.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's what I've just used this time for, because I'm always on the job. Well, it's revealed some surprising answers. I have some information for everyone here.
Oh, my God.
That's right. My very own tireless digging has confirmed that some of the agents present at the protests were, in fact, contractors employed by the Department of Homeland Security, supplied by a controversial PMC firm known as the Blackwood Company.
Oh, my God.
Clever listeners may recall that the Blackwood Company had a few high-profile instances of misconduct circa 2006. Most notably, the surprising degree of civilian casualties following the botched anti-goblin operations near the settlement of Water's Edge. Investigations at the time revealed that the Blackwood Company contractors had engaged in a culture of oral, transdermal, and even scrotal administrations of a potent hallucinogen known as hist sap prior to deployments. And that this pattern of substance abuse, evidently sanctioned by company executives, contributed to the firm's poor record regarding collateral damage. That history of excessive force hasn't gone unnoticed by others, it would seem, and not in a good way either. It's been reported that the withdrawal of Blackwood Company personnel from their roles as DHS agents was not due to administration policy reversals towards the demonstrations, but rather to the fact that the federal government was recently outbid for the company's services. The reputed thoroughness of Blackwood's actions during hostile engagements with goblins has garnered the attention of none other than Elon Musk, who has evidently supplied the company with a lucrative offer to provide any and all necessary security services moving forward for SpaceX and all its affiliates. More on that story as it develops.
Okay.
One last bit of news. Before we drop the subject entirely and move on to our usual goofier fare, it seems that concerns about mail-in voting during the ongoing threat to our trousers vis-a-vis Revere have finally prompted legislators to demand a personal testimony from the Trump administration's appointed Postmaster General, one Daniel Backslide, after he was overheard by several socially distancing diners at a D.C. area restaurant, recently exclaiming the words, "The election! I'll steal it! No one will ever know!" So that happened. And now we gotta live in that world.
No, okay.
Yeah. Drat them. Double drat them.
The Dover boys.
There was that's a good segue into something I did want to mention. There was a very, very strange somethingawful.com Photoshop Friday that was all about photoshopping into anything and everything you possibly could. Photoshopping the words, "Yeah, well, I fucked your wife." And one of them was a very well done, like in the font with like the aged look of like the Technicolor, title card, and it said "The Dover Boys" in "Yeah, well, I fucked your wife." It killed me. But Something Awful. You know what? We'll get to that a little bit later. Remind me. We'll put a pin in that.
All right.
I've talked a lot.
Yeah,
so
we got to do introductions.
I want to turn it over to you guys.
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, it's been so long since we posted our last episode, it may be hard to remember that we are Frankenstein Control. Welcome. I hope you've all been playing it safe. I hope you've been licking doorknobs and going out there and just breathing on people. I mean, that's the safe thing to do.
Yeah. What else are you going to do?
That's what I've been told. I am your host / bacterial hub, Taylor Russell. To my right is Ada Ship.
I'm Ada, and if you've ever played Bloodborne, you know that in the beginning, the enemies will chase you around and yell, "Plague-ridden rat!" They're actually looking for me.
That must have been a very targeted experience for you when you were playing.
It was a little magical.
It was targeted advertising. And in front of me, as always, is B-Rye.
I'm B-Rye, and at work we got these sort of, I'd hesitate to call them cans. They're just sort of plastic containers filled with these wipes with very, very harsh chemicals that kill germs, and we're supposed to wipe everything down with that. Mm-hmm. Once you're done with the box full of wipes, there's always like the leftover alcohol juice in the bottom of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've been huffing that and playing Ghost of Tsushima. So I've been having a real long block of time that's just sort of like one long samurai dream. It's been great.
Well, it's been samurai dreams and plague rat
creams
here at Frankenstein Control. Hope everybody's been playing it just as dangerously as we have, because fuck everything, am I right? Hey, B-Rye.
Uh-huh.
When's the last time you saw the sun?
Not very often. I possibly more than a week. I was just thinking today about how I got to thank Revere for the fact that this summer is the least bug-bitten and sunburned I've ever been during summer, and that kind of rules.
Yeah.
I really don't have a complaint about that.
I do gotta admit, air conditioning, pretty great.
When you have it.
When you have it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mine went out and I don't have it in my fucking car.
You need to get like a Freon injection or some shit.
That's the compressor's broken or some shit, and it's like the cost of the car to fix it because they got to take the dash out.
You need to find a way to crash it mysteriously in the night. Have a deer leap out and fuck your car up.
Cautious optimism plans are at work now to get me a new car.
Pay a suicidal deer.
What do you pay him with? How do you cash in money if you're dead?
You pay him with nuts and berries. He's gonna leave it to his family in Esperanto.
We're gonna run over Louis from Beastars.
Esperanto.
My
it's the universal language.
That's my favorite location to leave berries.
It's my favorite place. Everybody speaks the Omni language.
Mm-hmm.
Esperanto was the name of like the generic. What's like that's a sort of generic 80s boxy sedan, like a Crown Vic from like circa 1984. like in Grand Theft Auto 3, the name of like the car that was like the clone equivalent of that you could drive was the Esperanto.
Esperanto was the hottest song that was playing a couple summers ago. You remember? Like Esperanto, Scooby Dooby Dooby and the Floobidongo. Hey everybody, come get my Django. Hang on my dick and make me feel good.
That's an objective improvement on the actual song.
Thank you. I've been Ricardo Montalban, and I'm leaving with my rich Corinthian leather.
Corinth is famous for its leather.
What's famous for its leather?
That's from Archer. He gets a new car in one episode, and like this voiceover is going over all the features of the car, and it says rich Corinthian leather, and he yells, "Corinth is famous for its leather." But I think like Corinthian leather is like a made-up car industry term. Like there's no such thing as Corinthian leather.
I mean, that
just
doesn't shock me, but at the same time, really.
Like how real leather and genuine leather are different things.
Yeah.
Oh, and now that I didn't know.
It's one of those industry fuckets.
Yeah.
What's the difference between real and genuine leather?
I have no idea.
Oh, you see, real leather.
I just have seen both of those things, and apparently that means it's different.
My guess is that real leather is leather that you can touch, and genuine leather is like it's a microtransaction that you buy in various games. It's genuine, but it's not real because if it was real, that would mean it's gambling, and microtransactions are not gambling. Believe me.
Mm-hmm.
It's immaterial, and your hand passes right through it.
There's surprise mechanics to harp on a months-old joke from a while back.
See, with genuine leather pants, you buy it for $5, but then anytime you want to wear it outside your house, you have to pay $1.
Genuine leather pants is my favorite SpongeBob episode. It's a good SpongeBob spin-off.
Let's see it.
And believe me, I've been on Pornhub. I've seen plenty of SpongeBob spin-offs.
Excuse me?
You know what? I don't want him to elaborate. I'm going to change the subject entirely.
Oh!
And talk about how
You gonna talk about your dragon game?
Dragon game?
You gonna talk about where the Chinese dragons come from? What's it called? Japan. There we go.
I would... Sure.
Taylor, do you need medical help?
I need Lego my Egos.
He's not going to get it because we can't afford it.
I need to get 12 of them.
No, what I was going to say was, well, speaking of video games is a good segue here. I spoke with our boy, a friend of the show, Esteban, over the weekend.
Oh, yes, good old Esteban.
Good old Esteban, and he was informing me that he's been playing their Persona 5 Royal.
Hell yeah.
And enjoying the hell out of it.
That's where it's at, Holmes.
And he mentioned to me, he's like, I remember you told me that one of the characters, because I mentioned it on here before, that the character Ryuji reminds me of my friend Steven.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I remember you mentioned it before. Was it Ryuji? And I was like, yeah, Ryuji basically is like I just see him as you. And he was like, I didn't remember which one of the characters it was that you said was like me, but with everything Ryuji said and did, I kept going, this guy's all right.
Oh, Ryuji. He gives you one of the best perks in that game, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, the good perk to enjoy with your Jeffrey Epstein cat as you drive around.
I keep forgetting we have that Jeffrey Epstein joke about Morgana. Morgana didn't kill himself.
Speaking of cats I hope don't kill themselves, in my new neighborhood, there's a kitty. It's a little gray and white kitty. It's very cute. I think it's a girl, and she's always like out and about in the neighborhood in the morning. I know she's not a stray. She belongs to somebody. Somebody just has an outdoor cat.
Does they have like a collar or something?
Yeah, and like you can tell she's like well groomed and well fed.
Oh, okay.
And friendly. And I mean, I always see her around the same house.
So she isn't a feral kitty?
No, not a feral kitty. But I see her most mornings, and I'm always afraid that she's going to be like behind my car.
Yeah.
Or like somehow in my car. I mean, these are baseless fears. She's never done anything, but I love cats so much, and I'm terrified of harming them, especially after, we saw our neighbor's outdoor cat go missing at our old apartment complex, and that the missing signs are still up, and that breaks my goddamn heart every time I see them.
Oh boy, they're on to me.
Okay.
Fluffy was delicious.
Her name was Mimosa, but let's move on.
Oh.
You drank her. Sorry, I drank your cat.
I drank your cat. I apologize.
I'm
Here's
drunk
the-
on cat.
Here's the raisin-like cat husk I left behind.
Jesus, no.
Clacks to the ground like wood.
But this cat, I'm always afraid that I'm gonna like run it over, and so I'm always like backing out, and like multiple times I've been like backing my car out and been like, oh thank God I checked and that cat wasn't there, and I look in my rearview mirror and it's there. I'm like, God damn it! Stay away! And they're like, people! And I get mad at the people. I'm like, do not let your babies outside, because Pumpkin does not go outside.
Yeah.
I would be worried, inconsolably ill with worry if he got out somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you let him outside? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Steal the cat.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't know how Pumpkin would react to that. He's used to being in a one kitty household, so
He's fine with you having another cat. It's just the theft he disapproves of.
He is a cat of justice.
he's got like that Elder Scrolls game thing, that responsibility stat that determines how high like someone is likely. So like if you commit a crime in front of another character, whether or not you get a bounty, and they see you commit the crime, whether or not you get a bounty is based on their responsibility stat. And so like if a character with a high responsibility sees you commit a crime, you get a bounty immediately, because presumably they would report you to the authorities.
They just whip out their Nokia and
So it's just immediate. And one time I did get a bounty because a horse saw me steal.
Yeah.
That's a responsible ass horse.
Yeah, that pissed me right the fuck off.
It's a bootlicking horse right there.
Yeah, it is.
We now return to our adventures of Edmund, the butt-licking horse.
That also explains why I turned around and saw a bandit fist fighting my horse one time, saying, "That's the last mistake you'll ever make."
That's twice you hit me.
But yeah, that's how the responsibility stat works. So Pumpkin, I guess, has a really high responsibility if he sees me commit a crime.
Most responsible cat in the kingdom. Cyrodiil is a kingdom. It's an empire. Is that an empire kingdom?
It's the seat of an empire.
It's the seat of the Thalmor.
Well, now it is.
Skyrim.
It briefly it was.
Skyrim takes place how many years after the events of Oblivion?
I think like 200.
Yeah, I was about to say like 200.
Something like that.
And what's the year range between Morrowind and Oblivion?
Fairly quickly, I think, because
Really?
I think it mentions and dialogue you hear from people around town mention the Nerevarine and St. Giub, and those are characters from Morrowind. Your protagonist is the Nerevarine, and
In Morrowind.
In Morrowind. So presumably, if they're still alive, then it's relatively recently. And Giub is the stupid Dunmer that you start the game with. He's like the first person. He's the first and only person to be nice to you in the entirety of Morrowind, who inquires after your well-being when you wake up at the start of the game. And he's like, "I'm sure we've reached Morrowind. You know, like, I'm sure they'll let us go." And then you get off the boat and they're like, "The fuck do you want?" And everyone's like, "You fetcher!"
What, Jube's like that?
No, Giub is not like that.
okay.
Giub is the only nice character in the
so
entire
he doesn't,
game.
like, turn around on you.
No.
Oh, okay.
But like you literally only see him in like the first like minute or so of the game. When you start the game, he's like, "Wake up. Not even last night's storm could wake you." And he's like, I hear them say we've reached Morrowind. Like, I'm sure they'll let us go. Be quiet, here comes the guard." And then like the guard leads you out and the game starts. And then you never see him again because the boat deletes itself. But
So wait, the game starts with you're awake.
yes. all of them start with you waking up and or being in prison.
I love all those memes now.
Oh yeah, where you go through some portal, you get hit too hard in the head, and you wake up and you're in the you're awake in the fucking cart.
Yes, I love those.
Have you seen the picture of like some flatbed truck that's like just moving a bunch of, you know, those like Ronald McDonald statues in the seated position that are like on benches? There's one with like 4 of them in the back of that fucking truck.
It's like, you're awake.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
so funny.
I was Skazzle Rim. You know, for all the memeability and such with that, I really hope that the Bethesda team, Todd, I'm talking to you in particular, Todd, we need to talk, Todd. Elder Scrolls 6, I need you to know that the reason why that beginning sequence is so memed is because people hate it.
Yeah.
People hate it, Todd.
I don't hate it.
They hate having to wait 18 hours to start a new game.
Oh, so what I did
What you did?
Was install a mod.
No, I did not install a mod. I put a save file after running Bleak Falls Barrow and making it to Whiterun. Basically, I started the game, did Bleak Falls Barrow, went to Whiterun immediately, talked to the Jarl, killed the first dragon that sets the whole like main quest in motion, and then I popped a save on there. Mm-hmm. And like I'm only like level 4 or 5. Like it's only like 2 or 3 hours into the game.
Right.
And I just popped a save on there, and I did like carry that. I did carry that character to completion.
Oh.
But I kept that save there, so anytime I want to make a new character, I just load that save and then pop on like the show race menu console command.
Yeah.
And like make my new character, and then it like resaves with a new save, and you're done with like the first boring bullshit quests, and like the game can progress as normally.
See, the key there is that you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to cheat and jump through a whole bunch of hoops to make the game fun.
That's what you've always had to do in every single Elder
And that's
Scrolls
a
game.
problem.
No, it isn't. Well, as long as they leave the loopholes there for you. Because in Morrowind, before console commands, you had to get the Jack of Trades spell and combine it with Soul Trap on Self, and then you could just like make your stat increases permanent. And then that's how you. And then also, if you highlighted your health and magic bars, and then like pressed some weird combinations of the black and white buttons on the Xbox controller back when those were still a thing, it would make them infinite.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is that like Bethesda's attempts to be cinematic, which are increasingly hilarious as the years go on, are getting in the way of a fun play experience. Like, their attempt at being cinematic, you can see it in Fallout 3, you can see it in Skyrim, you can see it in Fallout 4, to a lesser degree New Vegas, all those games, they try and, like, get you started in this RPG of this open world where you can do anything, but, like, it funnels you into this tiny area that, like, you can't easily circumvent unless you're playing Fallout New Vegas, and then you could just go bye and run away. But like in Skyrim, for instance, you got Helgen and the shit that has to go on there, and the fucking who are you, and you have to, you know, if you're some schmuck who doesn't have a PC, who doesn't use console commands, then unlike us members of the posh PC master race, I'm so inbred, my teeth are on my asshole. But
right next to your taste buds.
Yes. And we so like people who don't have PC console commands and stuff, they're fucked anytime they want to make a different character. Like, you know, being a cat boy is fun, but I kind of want to make a Nord now. Oh, no. And then fade in Elder Scrolls 4, Skyrim. Oh, you're finally awake. And the reason why it's just such a big meme is because everyone's had to do that so many times.
Yeah, when you put it that way,
yeah.
I can see.
And, like, I'm not saying that, like, they should get rid of the funny vectors that you said, where you know, oh, I go to the starting area and I do something wacky. That's what I want too. I want to go to the starting area and do something wacky. I don't give a shit about Bjornlin talking my ear off about the fucking king and how cool he is. Oh, Jarl Ulfric or what the fuck ever. I don't care. After the first time, I don't give a shit, Bjornlin.
It's Rayloff, but sure.
I don't give a shit, Rayloff. I don't give a fuck, alright? I just want to go and be an Argonian and kill James Woods in the first town village where he's like, no theatrics, no going after thieves.
James Woods.
He sounds like James Woods.
He kind of does. Well, you know that's the same voice actor as Nick Valentine.
That is Nick Valentine. I do know that.
Hey there, kid, is a turd on the couch. There's a topical reference for you.
And see, like, that's fine. He just sounds like James Woods in that role. Of whatever his name is in the first shop that you go to.
Oh, I can almost remember his name. Lucan Valerius?
Oh my god.
I play that game a lot. I'm going to play it tonight.
Of course you are. And I applaud you that you can do that. You've reached a point where you can easily whip out the new characters, have them learn all the fun new magics. They need to put a spell that lets you summon breakfast sausages out of your hands and
that
like
would be so good.
spray them at people.
I want that ability.
And all it does, it doesn't hurt anybody, but it automatically triggers enemies to be hostile towards you. And it also
So basically, you just replace the Fury spell with hot dogs.
but with the added bonus of the greasiness of the sausages, that makes the enemies whoa, slip around and stuff.
With Hanna-Barbera sound effects.
Yes, that's what I want in my next. That's Todd. You can take that one for free, bro. Summon sausage.
It just works.
It just works. King Crimson.
I made a sandwich recently. That
Elder Scrolls 6 sandwich.
yeah, sandwich edition. I yearn for this sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
It was a grilled cheese.
Oh, I remember this.
But not just any grilled cheese. First of all, I had 2 sausages in it. Had a fried egg. And instead of using a slice of cheese, like a healthy, normal person would do to make a grilled cheese, I got a block of cheese and cut off 1/2-inch thick slabs of it. One for each side.
Mm-hmm.
And use that as the cheese. And then put the sausage and egg and jalapenos in it. And it was like cartoonishly goopy.
Oh,
like
God.
it was just dripping with cheese.
And sausage grease.
And sausage grease. And
And
That sounds
jalapeno juice.
disgusting.
it was one of the most delicious, decadent things I have ever had. And I'm like chasing this dragon of this sausage sandwich. I fantasize about it. I'm disappointed that I went to the grocery store yesterday and didn't buy sausages. I'm a fool.
I'm kind of dealing with the same, or with a similar problem, because we discovered a new carryout restaurant in town.
Ooh.
It's been there for a while. We just never ordered from them, and we have like significant brand loyalty to our 2 other main carryout places we always go to the extent that on like both of them, they like know what we want before we even call. They just like recognize my phone number and ask if I want the usual. And so we've achieved. That's the status we've achieved there.
Yeah.
And so I feel guilty saying this, but we, on a whim, we were tired of our 2 usual places for once, and we decided to give this other place a whirl.
What's it called?
It's called Solo, and it is in Leesburg. Solo Pizza, New York.
Ooh.
And I got a Cajun steak and cheese sub with bell peppers and onions sliced up in it. And it was the best fucking sandwich I've had, like, this year.
Man, I'm fucking hungry now.
And that was a good-ass sandwich. And I was like, I can't bring myself to say this out loud, but this sandwich is way better than all the other sandwiches at the other places we always go. I only want this sandwich. But
Oh man. Oh, but
then we went there again, and this time I did not order. I was like, you know what? Like the Italian sub is my favorite sandwich. I shouldn't be eating it. My fears of cancer from the processed meats has made me largely give up ordering Italian subs, because I feel like at the age of 31, I feel like I've reached my life.
The nitrates are gonna give me eyeball cancer.
I mean, you don't understand. I ate almost exclusively bologna sandwiches in my childhood.
Well, that's an old man's disease.
Yeah, like I pretty much hit my, I'm 31 and I pretty much hit my lifetime deductible of nitrates. And now it's starting to, if I have much more beyond this age, it'll kill me. So I got to give it up. But I was like, you know what? I want an Italian sub, and I often judge a sandwich place by the quality of its Italian sub. So I'm gonna, if that fucking Cajun steak and cheese sub was good as hell, I wonder how their Italian is. So I ordered it. It was heavy. I lifted the bag of carryout, and it felt like it weighed a good 5 pounds. 3 of which were that sub. And I ate it. It was good, quality-wise. It was wonderful. But I felt there was so much oil on that sandwich. You know the little glass bottles you keep next to the stove for like pouring olive oil on when you're cooking? I feel like I drank one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was like, I am very unwell.
If Lissa opened a Zippo next to you, you would have come aflame.
I would have gone up like a Roman candle. Oh my God! There would have been nothing left of me. It would have been a self-cremation.
Yeah, you would have been just a wick,
and
just like a dried out string on the ground.
That sucked because that was also the night where we wanted to finish season 5 of She-Ra. and we finished She-Ra, and it was like the huge emotional payoffs of 5 seasons of that show.
Meanwhile, you're all bloated from oil, like it's like, oh, Catra and Adora forgive each other.
I was like, I am only lipid now.
You're not livid, you're lipid.
I am the worst. I am the new X-Men and also the worst X-Men.
How was the resulting BM?
Oh, God.
I experienced no physical abnormalities in the entirety of my being about an hour after eating the sandwich. I just had lingering memories of the painful oiliness.
It didn't slide at you like shit through a goose?
I was fine physically, completely, like I said, like an hour after it happened, my body had returned to normal.
Didn't send you slipping sliding down your townhouse stairs like a penguin on a shit slick?
If I'd tripped, when I was carrying the trash downstairs, because naturally we eat in our bedroom, if I was carrying the trash downstairs and I had thrown down the wrapper that sub came in and jumped on it, I could have surfed.
Went down the stairs like a toboggan.
The lingering oil. It would have ruined the carpet, but
Yeah.
The lingering oil sounds like a Dark Souls boss.
I was gonna say exactly that.
Oh, God. Look outside, you guys. It's the lingering oil.
it's back to finish the job.
B-Rad, what have you done?
You gotta drink it now. You've got the best experience out of all of us.
That's right, grab your straw, B-Rad. It's time.
You know, it's a known quantity now. It's not as bad.
No guts, no glory. Grab a straw, gang. Delicious.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.